Welcome to Biz Headlines on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Stella Jejom Sugli. Now to our very first story. Government secured 1.79 billion from the sale of treasury bills in its latest auction on April 17, 2023. The auction saw an oversubscription of 125.8 million, even though interest rates have been rising. The target for this week's auction was 1.66 billion. Also, interest rates have increased slightly to an average of between 19.74% to 26.9%. According to the results from the central bank, the government secured 1.48 billion Ghana cedis from the 91-day bill, 227.11 million from the 182-day bill, and 87.81 million from the 364-day bill. An economist, Professor Eric Osei-Asibe, has projected that Ghana's fiscal outlook may reduce to about 6.6% by the end of 2023. According to him, his prediction is premised on the government's fiscal consolidation measures established as it seeks a 3 billion International Monetary Fund bailout by May 2023. In their recent projections, Fitch Solutions pegged Ghana's fiscal outlook at 6.6%, while the IMF predicted that the fiscal outlook of the country will be pegged at 7.3%. Speaking on the theme, Ghana's medium-term outlook, navigating through economic uncertainties amid an IMF at DBG GAB economic presentation, Professor Eric Osei-Asibe was optimistic that government will reduce its expenditure drastically to keep a positive economic outlook. Moving on, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Osei-Owusu, is incensed over what he calls over-exploitation of Ghanaians by members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. According to the Bekwai MP, GUTA has lost the moral right to complain about tax hikes, alleging that members of the association underdeclare their product and also overprice their goods to gain huge profit margins. Joe Wise, who is unhappy with the current development, was reacting to concerns raised by GUTA over the introduction of the 3 revenue bills approved by Parliament. According to the association, their members are already struggling with their businesses, insisting the 3 revenue measures will impose additional hardships on them. On the same matter, the Ghana Union of Traders Association responded to claims by the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Osei-Owusu, that GUTA was exploiting Ghanaians by overpricing their goods. Now, GUTA in a response said, he, Joseph Osei-Owusu, should know that the authority vested in him is by the people of Ghana, and therefore he cannot impose his will on Ghanaians, let alone members of the business community who constitutes the economy of Ghana. Most members of the trading community are more intelligent, educated, knowledgeable and resourceful than him, Joe Wise, but for the privilege he has, he should have known better and be mindful of his utterances and speak with decorum in order not to subject himself to public ridicule and insult. A statement by the Ghana Union of Traders Association quoted. The Energy Minister, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, says he supports the Electricity Company of Ghana to retrieve every peswa owed the company. This, according to the minister, is part of overarching efforts to ensuring that the company remains viable to deliver efficient service to consumers. Dr. Prempeh made these assertions when he led the ECG's Revenue Protection Task Force to 2 companies that owed ECG various sums of money. The minister, during these 2 engagements, bemoaned the situation where companies pile up bills for a very long time and refuse to pay.
When ECG began this program, I always communicated to the management that I'll demonstrate our support for this program by physically visiting 1 or 2 entities with them. And that is what I've done today, and probably I'll do on Friday. The ECG, I think, said that the amount of money that they intend to collect or has not been paid over a certain period was over 5 billion. I would like to know when they finish the program how much they've been able to collect and why they were not able to collect probably 80% of the bill. I don't believe in success factors we cannot all clap to. If they think the program has been successful, they must demonstrate it in how much they've retrieved. If not, what has caused their inability to retrieve it, and what plans are they having for subsequent visits?
Still on the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh has revealed that about 2.5 million crude condensation allocation made to the Tema oil refinery is reportedly missing. According to the minister, the fund was part of a business opportunity for the refinery to produce premix fuel from condensates from Ghana gas.
There's a top management at the board, right?
But as
I mean, it's easy to always say there's a sector minister, and as soon as the minister does something, oh, the minister is interfering. The same journalist around would accuse me if I go and I say I'm going to demand these changes. They will say, but they're Ghanaian workers, but there's a management. We all have to decide as a country what we want. We live under the type of system that we want, right? I can tell you as a minister what I've done. Right? I gave Tor a new business opportunity in the premix fuel market. That all the condensate from Ghana gas should go to Tor and use it for blending and premix fuel, right? The last time I heard, over $2.5 million worth of condensate from Tor. If we all want Tor working, we don't want another ECG in Tor, do we? Because it will break the back of government, the bills in Tor. They have over $500 million of debt sitting on there. And go and look at how the debt's accumulated. People bring their crude to refine, and then crude losses. I set up a committee that worked for 8 months just trying to reconcile Tor losses. My sister, you don't pay taxes for it to be a drain. You pay taxes for an efficient function of government. Government, I can tell you, is doing so much work to bring Tor together. As we speak, there are proposals lying down in Tor. The Attorney General is having a look, SIGA is having a look, Finance Ministry. Because you same journalists will come and say, government has sold Tor to its cronies if we don't get it right. And getting it right is a difficult proposition that we are putting out. And we will work diligently to give Ghanaians what is good. Petrol has not shot in this country, or petrol is not scarce in this country because Tor is not working, is it? Okay. So if Tor is come to work, it has to come with the efficiencies for which it can allow to participate in the market. We are not going to say Tor because Tor is Tor. Tor will bring in petrol products that me and you cannot buy. You will turn around and tell, the old system was better, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll work to get it right.
The Ghana Statistical Service has revealed that Ghana's economy grew by 3.1% by the fourth quarter of 2022. According to the GSS, the growth beat the forecast set by the government of Ghana. Government statistician Professor Kobne Nim, presenting highlights of the provisional 2022 fourth quarter and annual GDP estimate, said, when seasonally adjusted, Ghana's real GDP increased by 0.8% in the fourth quarter of 2022, representing 0.3 percentage points higher than what was recorded in the third quarter of 2022. The key subsectors that contributed to the economic growth were mining and quarrying, information and communication, public administration, defense and social security, crops, and education. In more news, the Electricity Company of Ghana has revealed that it has been able to retrieve about 2 billion Ghana cedis from customers in the last few weeks. Managing Director of the Power Supply Company, Samuel Dubik, explained that the company's revenue mobilization campaign is geared towards recouping some 5.7 billion from individuals and firms who have failed to pay for power used. According to him, he's optimistic his outfit will retrieve more money from defaulters by the end of the week. Quote, "We have collected in excess of 2 billion Ghana cedis. That is less than half of what we targeted. But we have one more week to go before I'm able to give my fears. I'll sit down, do an assessment, and then see. Why are people not paying? We'll disconnect and prosecute them." End quote. Many thanks for watching Biz Headlines this week. For more of our news stories, please log on to our website at www.ghanaweb.com. Also follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The GhanaWeb. Also on YouTube, GhanaWeb TV. My name is Stella J. Jomsugli. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.